शुरू करने से पहले बहुत लोग ये कहते हैं कि मजलिस क्यों करते हो। मैं कहता हूँ कि अलम यहीं पे सजा रहेगा, मजलिसें होती रहेगी। रसूल अल्लाह ने फरमाया, हुसैन हिदायत का चिराग है, चिराग जले तो रोशनी होती है और रोशनी चोरों को कभी अच्छी नहीं लगती। एक दुरूद भेजिए बावाज़े बुलंद। औज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम, बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन, वस्सलातु वस्सलामु अला सय्यिदिना व अज़ीमिना व तबीबि क़ुलूबिना व शफ़ीइ नुफूसिना बिल क़ासिम मुहम्मद व अला अहलि बैतिहि अत्तय्यिबीन अत्ताहिरीन व अस्हाबिल हुर्रिल मयामीन। अम्मा बाद, क़ाल इमाम अल हुसैन सल्लल्लाहु व सल्लमुहु अलैहि, फ़इन्नी ला अरल मौत इल्ला सआदति वल हयाति मअज़्ज़ालिमीन इल्ला बरमा। प्लीज़ रिसाइट अ सलावत, सल्लु अला मुहम्मद व आलि मुहम्मद। Elders, brothers, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Imam al-Husayn, when he was heading towards Karbala, he delivered a number of sermons, he delivered a number of khutbahs. And when he arrived in Karbala, he delivered a monumental sermon. Imam Husayn delivered a lecture when he arrived in Karbala. So as soon as he entered Karbala, Imam Husayn delivered a sermon. Now this sermon is recorded in Tuhaful Uqul, page 174. Sunni scholar Tabari in his Tarikh, volume 6. Ibn Nama al-Hilli in his book Munbir al-Ahzam. Ibn Asakir, another Sunni scholar, in his book Tarikh, page 24. And so on and so forth. Ibn Tawus, al-Kharizmi, all of them record this sermon. So this sermon is extremely authentic. Now, Imam Husayn starts his sermon. Now, insha'Allah, tonight within our lecture, we will analyze a few parts of the sermon. Not the whole sermon, a few excerpts from the sermon. And let us seek lessons from Imam Husayn's first khutbah in Karbala. But before that, I need your support. Imam Baqir का फरमान है, अगर कोई सलावात पढ़े और 400 साल तक बंदा चुप बैठे और 400 साल के बाद फिर से सलावात पढ़ते हैं तो फरिश्ते उनसे कहते, बंदे खुदा रुक जा, अभी तो हम पिछले दुरूद का सवाब लिख रहे हैं। अब तो दुरूद भेजिए ना बावाज़े बुलंद। So Imam Husayn starts his khutbah by saying, the affairs of the world have reached an unfavorable space. Things are not looking good. Further than that, Imam Husayn says, he uses a metaphor. Now those who are orators, those who have studied English literature, they know a metaphor is used to simplify complex concepts. So he says, good deeds in the world right now are equal to a drop that remains in the bottom of a container. That means that good deeds are very rare. Good deeds are very unique. People rarely perform good deeds. So Imam Husayn delivers a metaphor. In the first part of his khutbah, Imam Husayn uses a metaphor that good deeds are very rare. Then Imam Husayn says, do you notice that the right is not practiced and the wrong is not renounced? People are not telling others, let's do good. When they see evil, they don't stop evil. Now, how many of us here are told that the Muslims are the chosen people of God? We are told, right, that the Shi'as, the Muslims are the chosen people of God. Even Allah in the Quran says this. But then Allah gives a condition. Surah Al-Imran chapter 3 verse 110. Allah says, Kuntum khayra ummatan ukhrijat linnas ta'muruna bil ma'ruf wa tanhawna 'anil munkar. The Muslims are the best of nations, no doubt. You are the best. But it is because you call people towards righteousness and stop them from committing evil. So the condition is, you want to be God's chosen people, no problem. Condition, call people towards goodness and stop them from performing evil. So that's the condition. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, in Biharul Anwar, volume 44, page 328, Imam Ali says that when you don't stand up against evil, now evil doesn't only mean speaking out against your government, speaking out against your media. Sometimes it can be evil within your family, it can be evil within your society. When you don't speak out against evil, it is like seeing someone dying on the road and letting him die. When you see someone dying and you say, let him die, that's extremely evil, that's vicious. Imam Ali says, when you don't call people towards righteousness and stop them from committing evil, it is like seeing someone dying on the road and letting that person die. So, call people towards goodness. Now, how should you do Amra bil Ma'ruf? Should you just go and insult someone? Comment on his Instagram page that aap jo kar rahe ho, bilkul ghalat kar rahe ho. How should you do it? Ayatullah Muhsin Qaraati says that when you call people towards goodness, don't be harsh and aggressive. First of all, seek knowledge. Know that maybe what he's doing is right, but you just don't understand. So one, seek knowledge yourself. Number two, do it with a soft heart. Do it with a clean heart. Don't say, I anyways don't like this person, now I have an opportunity to get my revenge. Do it with a soft heart. And with a level of secrecy. Do it in private, don't do it in public. Don't wait, this person is eating with his family, now you go and expose him. Or you write on his social media. No, do it in secrecy. So number one, Imam Husayn. What is my topic again? Yallah. First khutbah of Karbala. MashaAllah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So number one, call people towards goodness, stop them from committing evil. Number two, Imam Husayn then declares, فَإِنِّي. Now, brothers, if you want the full khutbah, I'll send it to you inshallah. فَإِنِّي لَأَرَى الْمَوْتَ إِلَّا السَّعَادَةِ وَالْحَيَاةِ مَعَ الظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا بَرَمَا. A believer must be excited to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I do not consider death except with happiness. I'm happy to get death. And living with an oppressor is but misery. I do not want to live under an oppressor. I'd rather be killed, I'd rather be martyred than living under an oppressive ruler. Now, Thomas Carlyle was a Scottish essayist, historian and philosopher. Look at what he says. Carlyle says, Muslim, non-Muslim. Sallu ala nabi. I was wondering if it was adhan time right now because the ringtone was the adhan. So Thomas Carlyle, an essayist, historian, says, the best lesson which we get from the tragedy of Karbala is that Husayn and his companions were rigid believers in God. They illustrated that numerical superiority does not count when it comes to truth and falsehood. The victory of Husayn despite his minority marvels me. What does this mean? Imam Husayn was 72. Yazid's army how many? 30,000. Thomas Carlyle says, when it comes to truth and falsehood, numbers don't matter. It doesn't matter if you are 2, 3, 5 and the other side is 1,000, 10,000, 1 million. But if it's the truth, you should stand on the side of truth, not on the side of numbers. This is what Carlyle says. Then Imam Husayn in his khutbah says, An-nas abidud dunya. Human beings are slaves of the world. Then Allah in the Quran says the same thing. Surah Munafiqun, chapter 63, verse 9. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tulhiku amwalukum wala awladukum an dhikrillah. O you who have believed, don't let your wealth and your children take you from the path of Allah, from the remembrance of Allah. Sometimes people are so wealthy, they're so rich, they have amazing children who are very good at education, they make them proud. There's nothing wrong in getting wealth. But Allah says, make sure they don't take you away from the path of God. Don't forget that I have given you this wealth. I have given you these children. Don't forget me. In the Quran, Allah says, Surah 29, verse 64, وَمَا هَذِي الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا لَهُ وَلَعِبْ وَإِنَّ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ لَهِيَ الْحَيَوَانِ لَوْ كَانُوا يَعْلَمُونَ. This life, this world is nothing but a sport and play. Ya Allah, do you know how hard I work? Allah says nothing but sport and play. Ya Allah, do you know how many challenges I face? Nothing but sport and play. I saw a video a few days ago. This person says, 100 years from now, nobody will remember Ejaz Bhalloo. People will live in my house. People will live in my family's house. Everybody has forgotten me. So why are we so worried about this world? In 100 years from now, our legacies are forgotten. People have forgotten us. So Allah says this world is nothing but a sport and play. Prepare for the next abode. Prepare for the next life. So Imam Husayn, what does he say? An-nas abid dunya. Human beings are slaves of the world. They are engrossed with this dunya. Then Imam Husayn says in his khutbah, وَالدِّينُ الْعَقٌ عَلَىٰ أَلْسِنَتِهِمْ يَحُوتَنَهُمْ مَا دَرَّتْ مَعَاشُهُمْ فَإِذَا مُحِّسُوا بِالْبَلَاءِ قَلَّتْ دَيَّانُونَ. This is a very dangerous excerpt from the sermon. Very dangerous. Imam Husayn, do you know what he says? Religion is but a licorice on their tongues, preserved so long as their lives go well with it. That means you see they are religious, mashallah, hafidhul Quran, experts in fiqh, they are reciting salah, they know the Quran, but religion is but a licorice on their tongue. They just use religion, they weaponize religion. It's a very dangerous statement from Imam Husayn. Religion is but a licorice on their tongue. They just say, I am mullah, I am maulana, I am this, I am that, but in reality, it is but a licorice on their tongues. Now, before I continue, Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The reason why I made you recite a salawat, because I saw some tense faces. You don't have to be worried. We have the path of Imam al-Husayn, there is nothing to worry. But as long as we follow his footsteps. Now, there's another hadith from Imam Sadiq in the book, the Ahlul Bayt Ethical Role Models. He says, do not be deceived by their prayers and fasting. When you want to see whether someone is religious or not, don't look at how many times he goes to the mosque. That's important, by the way. Salah is important, fasting is important. But don't judge people based on how much they fast and how much they pray. This is not me saying, Imam Sadiq is saying. Measure human beings by their truthfulness and their trustworthiness. Imam Sadiq says this. And then, even if you look at Karbala, all those alims, Abdullah ibn Abbas, Abdullah ibn Zubair, Abdullah ibn Umar, these people were scholars. They were respectable people in society. Yet when it came to Karbala, they abandoned Abu Abdullah. Faqiz abandoned Imam al-Husayn. Sometimes you think people, you think they're not very religious. They come to the mosque hardly once in a while. Maybe Abu Abdullah loves them more than you who comes every day. I'll give you an example. Maqtal al-Mukarram, page 194. This is a companion of Imam Husayn we rarely hear about, Abdullah ibn Umair. He went to Karbala with his wife and his mother. He belonged to the Banu Kalb tribe, not very religious. He left Kufa and he just heard that they are planning to kill the grandson of Rasulullah, and he heard Husayn is a good man. He said, I have to go and fight for Husayn. He arrives in Karbala. He goes to the battlefield, destroys the infantry and cavalry forces of the enemy. But eventually he is tragically martyred. His right arm is cut, one of his feet is cut, he was tortured and killed. Now, whom did he go to Karbala with? His wife and mother. His wife could not bear this. What does the wife do? The wife rushed from the tents, enters the battlefield. She says, I cannot live without my husband. She goes towards the battlefield, takes her handkerchief, wipes the blood from the face of Abdullah ibn Umair. She says, Oh Abdullah, I am proud of you. You have sacrificed your life for Husayn. Then Shimr ordered his servant Rustam, attack this lady. Go and attack her. Rustam goes, takes a sword, splits her head in half. And this lady is the only martyr on the plains of Karbala. She dies. But she looks towards her husband before her death. She says, I will meet you in Jannah. I will meet you in heaven. Imam Husayn says, may Allah bless these two. The couple that recently got married gave their lives for Aba Abdullah Imam al-Husayn salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. You know me, I'm very conscious of time, so I always say, time, what's the time, what's the time? I want to make sure, inshallah, I maintain my time. My lecture is almost complete. One more excerpt and I end. Imam Husayn then says, the last part, in his sermon, when they, believers, are subject to an examination, they decrease in number. Allahu Akbar. When you call them to a real test, the Muslims reduce. The Muslims are very few. Allah in the Quran says in Surah 17 verse 7, In ahsantum ahsantum li anfusikum. If you do good for yourselves. When you do something good, you're not doing it for others, you're doing it for yourselves. And I end my talk with this riwayah. It's a heart-wrenching riwayah. Another riwayah from the day of Ashura. This is again in Maqtal al-Mukarram, and it is also mentioned in Ayan al-Shia, volume 2, page 319. So, there are two people who, Sa'ad ibn Harith and Abu al-Hutuf al-Harith, two brothers. Sa'ad ibn Harith and Abu al-Hutuf al-Harith. These two extremists. They hate Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. They despise Ali ibn Abi Talib. They say Ali ibn Abi Talib is not a true Imam. In fact, they fight Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. These two brothers. So they are extremists. Umar ibn Sa'ad recruits them. Umar ibn Sa'ad looks for people like this. Now you know ISIS today, we have Al-Qaeda. At that time they were known as the Khawarij. So these two, Sa'ad ibn Harith and Abu al-Hutuf al-Harith, Khawarij. So now the day of Ashura arrives, everyone is excited, we are going to go and butcher Husayn and his family. Suddenly, on that day, Sa'ad al-Harith and Abu al-Hutuf al-Harith, they look at Husayn's eyes. Just his eyes. And then they hear children crying, Al-Atash, Al-Atash, the thirst, the thirst. So they look at each other. They said, look, we have spent our entire lives fighting these people. Maybe they are the righteous ones. Aren't we killing the grandson of Rasulullah? Why are we depriving their children of water? What have the children done? Do you know what they do? They take their swords, mount their horses. Imagine, their entire lives they believed something different. Now on the final day they've changed. They go towards Husayn and they say, Ya Aba Abdullah, forgive us. For we have sinned and hated you our entire lives. Husayn said, the door of Aba Abdullah is open for everyone. Even if you have sinned, you have committed injustice in your life, but now you want to join the camp of Husayn, it is wide open. Never judge someone who is a lover of Husayn. Never. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And Bibi Sakina always tried to follow the path of her father. When Imam Husayn left Imam Husayn was leaving Medina, the riwayah says Ali Asghar kept on hugging Bibi Sughra. We hear this. Imam Husayn then goes and whispers something into Ali Asghar's ears. That, oh Ali Asghar, come with me. Ali Asghar, Husayn needs you for his jihad in Karbala. What Husayn tells Asghar, Zainab tells Sakina. On the day of Ashura, in Sham Ghariba, when Sakina said, I will not leave my father, Zainab says that, oh Sakina, Zainab needs you for Sham. नींद आएगी जब आपकी बू पाऊंगी बाबा, मैं रात को मक्तल में चली आऊंगी बाबा. हुसैन ने फरमाया निकलती नहीं सैदानियाँ बाहर, सीने पे सुलाएगी तुम्हें रात में मादर. शाम गरीबा आ गई, सब खैमे जल चुके और जनाब ज़ैनब ने बच्चों को गिनना शुरू किया. जमा करके देखा तो देखा सकीना नहीं है. एक मर्तबा जले हुए खैमों में ढूंढती चली, عابد بیمار سے پوچھا، کلثوم سے پوچھا، ایک ایک بیوی سے پوچھا میری بچی کہاں ہے؟ کسی نے جواب نہیں دیا، سب چپ ہو گئے۔ ہر طرف آواز دی، ہر طرف ڈھونڈتی ہوئی پھری، لیکن جب کہیں سے کچھ جواب نہ آیا تو دریا کی طرف گئی، آواز دی عباس کیا سکینہ آئی؟ کوئی جواب نہیں آیا۔ جلدی جلدی شہدائے قتلگاہ میں آ گئی، آواز دی بھائی کیا سکینہ آئی ہے؟ آواز آئی زینب آہستہ بولو، سکینہ سینے پہ سو رہی ہے۔ ہائے وہ 11ویں کی شب اور وہ سکینہ کی نیند سینہ حسین پر۔ زینب نے جا کے بی بی سکینہ کا بازو تھاما، اٹھو سکینہ اٹھو، اس طرح سے کوئی راتوں کو گھر چھوڑ کے نہیں جاتا۔ تو سکینہ کہنے لگی پھوپھی اماں میرے بابا بھی تو سو رہے ہیں، میرے بابا بھی تو اکیلے سو رہے ہیں، میں بابا کو تنہا نہیں چھوڑ سکتی۔ عزادارو، شام میں جب ایک مرتبہ رسیاں کھولی نا بیویوں کی، تو جناب سکینہ نے کیا کیا؟ یتیم بچوں کو بہت شوق ہوتا ہے کہ کوئی سینے سے لگائے، کوئی پیار کرے، خصوصاً اگر کوئی حسین کے پیار کی آدمی ہو۔ تو جیسے ہی بیویوں کی رسی کو کھولی گئی تو سکینہ دوڑتی ہوئی گئی، امام سجاد کے گلے میں باہیں ڈال دی۔ جیسے ہی بیوی نے باہیں ڈال دی اپنے بھائی کے گلے میں، تو امام سجاد نے کہا آہ، یہ آہ سنی نا؟ تو کیا کہا بیوی نے؟ سکینہ نے کہا بھیا آپ نے آہ کیوں کہا؟ امام سجاد نے فرمایا بی بی یہ دھوپ میں بٹھائے رکھتے ہیں، میری زنجیریں گرم ہو جاتی ہے، جب کوئی ہلاتا ہے تو خال اترنے لگتی ہے۔ اب عزادارو، اب جو بی بی سکینہ کو پانی ملا، سکینہ نے مولا سجاد کے زنجیروں میں ڈالنا شروع کر دیا۔ امام سجاد نے پوچھا بی بی کیا کر رہی ہو؟ سکینہ نے کہا بھیا آپ ہی تو نے کہا تھا زنجیر گرم ہے، پانی کے ذریعے سے زنجیروں کو ٹھنڈا کر رہی ہوں۔ الغرض ایک مصیبت کی رات آئی، آدھی رات تک سکینہ روئی، آدھی رات کے بعد لیٹ گئی، سو گئی، بیبیاں بھی لیٹ گئی، بیبیاں بھی سو گئی۔ اچانک سکینہ تڑپ کے اٹھی، دوبارہ اٹھ کے بیٹھ گئی، ہائے میرا بابا کہاں چلا گیا، میرا بابا کہاں چلا گیا؟ زینب نے کہا سکینہ تجھے پتا ہے تیرا بابا کربلا میں رہ گیا؟ سکینہ نے کہا میں ابھی سوئی تھی تو آج خواب میں مجھے بابا نظر آیا، اکیلا نظر نہیں آیا، میری دادی فاطمہ بھی ساتھ میں تھی۔ بابا نے کہا سکینہ بیٹی آج تیری مصیبتوں کی آخری رات ہے، تیری دادی اور میں تمہیں لینے آئے ہیں۔ اب یزید دربار میں پریشان، اسے نیند نہیں آتی۔ ایک شخص نے کہا یزید تیرے خزانے میں حسین کا سر ہے نا، وہ سر بھجوا دے، شاید اسے دیکھ کر سکینہ کو سکون آ جائے۔ عزادارو، ایک مرتبہ زندان میں کھڑی ہو گئی، سکینہ دروازے کی جانب بڑھنے لگی۔ زینب نے سکینہ سے کہا بیٹی کہاں جا رہی ہے؟ سکینہ نے کہا بی بی زینب اے پھوپھی اماں مجھے دروازے سے بابا کی خوشبو آ رہی ہے۔ اور زینب نے مڑ کے دیکھا تو دیکھا حسین کا سر نظر آیا۔ بس عزادارو، بچی نے بابا کا سر لیا اور بچی جھکی۔ اب یہ دردناک روایت سنیے گا۔ ہمیشہ حسین، یہ بہت دردناک جملہ ہے، ہمیشہ حسین جھک کے سکینہ کا بوسہ لیتے تھے، ہمیشہ حسین جھک کے سکینہ کا بوسہ لیتے تھے۔ آج منظر الٹا ہو گیا، سکینہ جھک کے بابا کا بوسہ لیتی ہے۔ بابا میرے رخساروں پہ تماچوں کا نشان۔ روتے روتے بچی خاموش ہو گئی۔ زینب نے سجاد سے کہا بیٹا ذرا دیکھو۔ سجاد آگے بڑھے، سکینہ کا بازو تھاما، کہا انا للہ و انا الیہ راجعون۔ غسالہ کو بلایا گیا غسل کے لیے۔ چیخیں مارتی ہوئی باہر آئی، اس بچی پہ تو نے کتنے ظلم کیے، سارا جسم زخمی ہے، بس عزادارو سجاد میت لے کے آگے بڑھ رہے ہیں، خدا آپ کو پھر سے شام کے قید خانے میں لے جائے، ایک ننھی قبر ہے، سجاد آگے بڑھے، ایک مرتبہ فاطمۃ الزہرا کی آواز آئی، سجاد بیٹا سکینہ کو لینے کے لیے میں آئی ہوں۔ الا لعنت اللہ علی القوم الظالمین، انا للہ و انا الیہ راجعون۔ ماتم حسین، یا حسین